scene change. So yeah, Chris glared at him, and he approached to Gengar. Hey, give me back my apple! Chris pointed his... Oh, it's a nice echo effect. I don't know if that'll pick up too well on this, but we'll have to see. So Chris still trying to get the fucking apple. Hey, give me back my apple! Chris pointed his hand to Gengar, who only laughed and smirked. I mean, he already ate it. He'd have to, like, regurgitate it to return it to you. Who only laughed and smirked. Kid, didn't you learn your lesson yet? The answer is no way, Gengar said, grinning. Well, I don't, because I don't need to learn it. Give me that apple in your hand. Gengar laughed a bit. Try me! He placed the apple above in the air, but placed the other hand in Chris's head to stop him from grabbing it. Give me back my apple! You don't understand? Gengar pushed Chris, making him fall to the floor. No! Just before Chris could touch... Just before Chris could touch the ground, a warm hand wrapped around his back, and he heard a rather hard punch coming in front of him. He looked and saw Gengar dropped in the grass in front of a tree he hit. The apple was not with him anymore. Chris turned his head to the right and saw Lucario with his right arm stretched in front of him. Then the apple fell from the sky and Lucario catched it. I wonder what the chances are that Aura Channeler Chris was bullied at school, and he's just sort of writing Lucario in as this savior figure to save him from the powers that be. I don't know. It seems if he's called Aura Channeler Chris and he was a whatever year old Hispanic teenager living in America, and the main character of this is also called Chris, and he's a whatever-year-old Hispanic teenager living in America. Only now with an invincible best friend to protect him from any harm. I don't know. Lucario catched it. Don't you ever push him! Lucario glared at Gengar, Ekans, and Medicham, Lucario glared at Gengar, Ekans, and Medicham watched terrified as Gengar stood up slowly. And why not? Why not is really fun, Gengar said. Gengar then heard a big noise coming from behind. He turned his back and saw the tree torn in half. He sweat dropped and turned slowly his head to Lucario. So what if we don't want to? Gengar asked, scared. Lucario approached slowly to Gengar, Ekans, and Medicham. They were backing away a little. You don't scare us a little, You don't scare us a little. Lucario stomped the ground and it broke with great force. The three mean Pokemon gulped in terror as the Aura Pokemon glowed. Run if you don't want to die, Gengar said. Him, Ekans, and Medicham left in a hurry. Lucario stopped glowing and he approached to Chris and kneeled. Here is your apple. Chris smiled and took it, then he started to eat it. Why did you want it? Just get another one, fuck's sake. What is so special about this fucking, this nasty-ass apple? This has been you found in a dungeon to fucking begin with, and now it's being half-eaten by a weird, creepy ghost thing, What is it? Just get another one. Gee whiz. Mudkip and Chikorita were stunned watching this. They couldn't believe the strong power of Lucario. All right, you showed them who is the boss here, Mudkip said, smiling and jumping. He turned his head and saw hearts where Chikorita's eyes should be. Are you all right? I think I fell in love, Chikorita said, looking at Lucario. Oh boy, we got that fucking subplot to look forward to. There's always that. It already had that bullshit with Medley in the Wind Waker, and now more fucking romance. This should be interesting. Just then Lucario's stomach grumbled and he blushed a little. Do you want an apple? Chris asked. No, I can't take your apple, Lucario said, shaking his head. Chris searched in his backpack, and he took out the apple he found in the silent chasm. Oh, okay, so this is so the apple that Gengar was eating was the same one he took from Chris before. He was just taking forever to eat it because Chris searched in his backpack and he took out the apple he found in the silent chasm. So the one he found in the cave is the one he's now giving to Lucario. That's weird. Okay. Eat it, Chris said. Lucario grabbed the apple and he started to eat it. Thanks! After eating the apples, Chris wanted Lucario to join the rescue team. He accepted and he got a blue scarf. He placed it around his neck and Chikorita fainted mysteriously. That's a lot of action to squeeze into one sentence. On the one hand, that's probably good because it saves time. On the other, it's not terribly good writing. Pokemon Square, Mudkip's rescue team base. It was night. Chris and Lucario decided to sleep inside the base along with Mudkip and Chikorita. Mudkip was sleeping above a rock. Chikorita was sleeping near a tiny pond inside, and Lucario was sleeping. She was sleeping inside Lucario, no. Inside, and Lucario was sleeping, sat and leaned into a wall, with Chris sleeping below his left arm. It's time for our revenge, guys! Gengar whispered, again with no H, whispered looking through the window of the base. He looked at Chris. That kid will know not to mess with Team Meanies! Can't even fucking remember what voice I did for Ekans. Hehehe, we will kidnap a kid, what fun, Ekans whispered. Kidnapping is fun when you're evil, Metachamp sang. First try, the rope. He sort of indented that a little bit. Put it in the middle. Okay. Alright, we need to drag him with this rope I got from the shop. We will throw it to his tail, and we will pull him slowly to us. Then we run like Dodrios. What? What's that? What is Dodrios? Or is it Dodrios? Oh, it's Dodrios. Oh, okay. They were running like Dodrios. And it's a bird with three heads. Okay. I think I sort of vaguely remember that one. Oh no, that's the one I remember. The one with two heads. Okay. Maybe that's like a different version or something. Lower evolution. Then we run like Dodrios, I guess. Gengar whispered. He saw Chris's blue tail to his left, and he threw the rope into it. Fortunately for the team, the rope attached to his tail, and they turned their backs at some trees. Then they began to pull him slowly. What do they stand to gain from kidnapping Chris? I mean, they say revenge, but what are they going to do? You know? All that's going to happen is that the guy they were scared of is just going to come and get them, you know? It's like... I don't know. It's like you're not gonna fucking bully some kid if you know that his brother is, 6'5" and 200 pounds. Well, I don't know. Actually, 200 pounds might not be. I don't know. I don't know how that shit works. And then they began to pull him slowly. When did he got so heavy? Gengar asked and whispered. The weight of his prey was just too heavy for them, but eventually they managed to pull him to them. However, Medicham was the first to turn his back, and he gasped. Guys, can I ask you some questions? Medicham asked, terror coming from his tone. Abject. Spill them, Gengar whispered. He is tiny, right? Right. He is weak, right? Right. His tail is not too big, right? Right. He doesn't have a spike in his chest, right? Right. This is so boring. He is right. He is not definitively tall, right? Right. He never glows intensely in a blue light, right? Right? I think we got the wrong one. Gengar and Ekans turned their backs. His prey was not Chris. Instead, they got apparently a bigger version of him. They looked at the rope and it was attached to a much different and bigger tail. They thought it was tiny, and his owner was not exactly happy at all. Fuck!